Good evening and welcome. Tuesday night, Midwest Motorsports Racing. It's time for the GT4 series to get underway as there are 3 races left in the season. And nestled in the forest hills of Cheshire, England, is the Oulton Park circuit. 2.7 miles, 17 corners, very narrow circuit, very British type of racing circuit. Originally a square. As you can see the track map, they eventually added on the south section, and we're going to get underway tonight as there are 31 cars signed up to race tonight. And Chase Fincher, your points leader, has put it on the pole in the blue McLaren. Jack Lucas in the Mercedes with the front row start tonight. Congrats, Jack, on a great race, great qualifying. Travis Rowe and Nathan Westland, row 2. Michael Odell, Jason Phillips, row 3. John Daniels, Jason Wahlberg, Justin Glickner, and Justin Thaler round out the top 10. Nicholas Kalugaru is your top qualifying amateur driver in 15th place, right beside the points leader, Ron Kabiltas. Dustin Reinstedel, third in the AM division qualifying. As cars are rolling off, 31 cars. It's going to be tight. Remember, all 4Xs and above on lap 1 will be reviewed post-race. So hopefully we get off to a clean start as the entire field runs down. I'm James J., joined by Adam Sondag. Adam, let's go racing, man. What do you think we're going to see?
Based on qualifying and practice, we might see a lot of off-track excursions. This is not a wide track. As race director Josh Watt notes, is very normal for the British tracks here. Elevation change, a couple areas to unsettle the car. The runoffs here are thin margins, so we may see potentially some race leaders as they try to extract the maximum amount of pace, run into some trouble as they go green here.
Chase Fincher, your pole sitter and points leader, lets loose as 2 wide behind. I think everybody makes it through. So far, so good. Travis Rowe looking racy. He's going to be on the outside of turn 3. Here we go. I'm not as familiar with this track, so I'm going to be leaning on you a lot, Adam, to help me through it. I know you've put in quite a few laps, even in more underpowered cars than the GT4s here. But so far, everybody's dropped down single file in the top 10 at least. Chase Fincher takes us through the hairpin into the chicanes here through 7, 8, and 9. Those tire barriers are not going to move, tire stacks. Jack Lucas and Travis Rowe side by side for second into turn 10. Oh, Jack Lucas goes off track. Shortcuts. You might get a slowdown for that one. Travis Rowe gets sideways. There's sideways behind him. Nathan Westland gets alongside Travis Rowe in the yellow Mercedes. Michael Odell, second in points, is just watching Chase Fincher go away as Nathan goes wide in the AMG Mercedes. Michael Odell in the BMW, side by side with Jack Lucas now. Westland drops back, but not too far. Good qualifying spot for Nathan Westland, is able to save a nice spot inside the top 10. Back up with Jack Lucas and John Daniels. Very exciting lap 1. Chase Fincher all the way out to almost 4 seconds. Usual contenders in the top 3. John Daniels, Jack Lucas, and Jason Wahlberg.
Yeah,
you're right. They're already going wide.
As expected, a lot of action very early. There's not a lot of room to maneuver, especially with some of these wide cars. The AMGs, you see them go too wide there. Not much more you can do through that turn.
A lot of give and take here for sure.
We did have two drivers, I believe, start in the pit lane, Justin Shoup and Pablo Araya, after last week's race.
Oh no, it looks like CJ Barzak's already in the pits for some repairs. Justin Glickner has
Oh,
dropped down
no. That car
significantly as well.
does not look happy.
No, he's in pieces.
Not a good start.
So something, his front bumper get repaired there. Michael Odell, second in the points, looking for a way around Travis Rowe. But we know Travis is fast based on last week's performance at Bathurst. Let's see if he can duplicate it and have another good run here. It's 4.4 seconds. Chase Fincher gets a free run, a free start, and clear road, and definitely takes advantage.
Take a look here real quick and see what happened to CJ Barzak.
Oh, he's pointing the wrong direction. CJ Barzak in the multicolored car. I believe that's. Oh, we got somebody in front of Chris McDonald. Oh, no. And he avoids and just into the tire walls head on.
Wow.
Does a nollie. The rear wheel's up.
It seems like it's not a very difficult stretch of track here, because you're going down a straight, but there's a weird little kink there can really unsettle the car. Oh, and looks like, oh wow, there was a lot more action there.
I think that's Chris McDonald that was facing the wrong way.
Yep.
And Ron Cabiltas also. See what happens to Chris. I think he was one of the first ones to get crossed up. He does a good job of staying in the grass, but everybody's avoiding him behind. Oh, side by side with, is that Nick Kaluguru?
Yeah, yep.
Or Pablo?
Both of them. Justin Thaler in front. Oh, it looks like Pablo coming off of the curb got into.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Cabiltas. Yeah, you're correct. Very much. Yeah, yeah. It looks like when he was coming off over the.
I think it's Island Bend, so turn 4, just a little left kink. It's not flat, especially with cold tires, but Ron Cabiltas just barely gets a slight touch right there.
Oh, just a little correct after getting on that curb there.
Just the slightest of touches. It might even have been net coat. It was so close. Cabiltas gets it straightened out, but unfortunately CJ Barzak does not and goes head on into the tire walls and thankful for the Hans device. Here we are on that same corner. Turn 4, you just have to, it's almost a lift and roll, but if you apply any brakes, you're going to insert some rotation into the car because you're steering and it's just going to go around. And that's what happened to Cabiltas. He tried to catch it and barely got into Chris McDonald. And all heck breaks loose behind, so that's lap 1.
Yeah, you do have to. Some turns in these cars you can, just by lifting, get the rotation that you need, get the weight transfer forward over the front wheels just enough. But really, with the limited amount of aero that this package has, some of those turns you do need to apply a little bit of brake drag just to make sure that car does get rotated into the turn. So we'll see how that goes as the night goes on and the tires wear out.
5.7 seconds. Chase Fincher continuing to pull away from Travis Rowe and Michael Odell. Michael Odell maybe trying to work on some bonus points. I'm not sure why he's not more aggressive on Travis Rowe, but very competitive. Michael knows that it's a 60-minute race and does not want to risk a good finish. It's Chase Fincher, your pole sitter, just lays down consistent lap after lap after lap. Jack Lucas here, front row starting. This livery inspired by
Fincher.
Missing an H. F-I-N, finger?
Finger? Huh.
I don't know. He's got inspiration for his paint, at least. Don't know who it is, but all good. Chasing Jason Phillips. Jack Lucas, front row starter. Here's Justin Glickner getting around. Anthony Castor there. That is for position. And Justin Glickner dropped down quite a bit from his qualifying spot, so he must have got paneled up. Maybe in that lap 1 incident, down 15 spots. He goes through turn 10 and through 9. M4, M3.
Race director Josh Watt tells us that the crew chief application for for the drivers when they're coming up upon Chase Fincher, or if it's reporting his timings, the attempt at pronunciation of Fincher comes through his finger, and so now everybody who uses
Nice.
crew chief is calling him Finger. So there you have it.
Finger up ahead, leading the race. Got it.
I have not installed the Brendan from Arca Break has, I believe, a JFK crew chief voice pack. I have not installed that, but that's out there if you're in need.
Very cool. I would get lost in the code trying to just insert a folder. Oh, as Jack Lucas goes wide, and Nathan Westland takes advantage. Jack Lucas gets it wrong. Oh no. May have had some damage as well. I think he may have clipped one of those tire stacks, and just snaps right. Must have already been broken by that point.
I guess
No
so.
contact there. Oh, how unfortunate. Straight to the toe to the pits. Did he hit the first one? No, seems to be straight there. He's just kicking himself. Just a push and a snap.
Yeah, that's strange.
Wow.
Race director Josh Watt says
that catch. He was trying to save it. He caught the right front just at the very end of that tire wall.
Well, he's called it a night, so apparently something happened there.
Yeah, I think his right front caught the end of that retaining wall tires. And that was it. Unfortunate. Jack, we hope you'll come back next week at Spa. There's 2 races remain in the season. Kyle Ryan with the awesome paint. I've always liked Kyle's paint job here. Heavy black on the left, or looking at it.
Yeah,
more
a little
blue on
bit
the
of
left side. It looks awesome.
Naval camouflage.
Yeah, there you go. See, he's looking up ahead at Robert Snar. Right now, Kyle is P5 in the AM division. Up 4 spots from the starting spot.
There's just so much flow to this track, to this circuit. It takes a lot more smooth driving than it seems like it should for what seems like realistically a Godzilla kaiju-sized karting track in the way that the layout is thrown down. It really does demand that you have very smooth inputs, especially with the changes and the elevation and the off camber. This is a turn here where you can really over rotate and lose the rear end.
Drew, it's a little rollers, even on the straightaway, so easy to get unsettled. And like you said, using the camber of the corners where it's available. Here we see some more rollers. You can really, especially the motorcycles, watching some motorcycle races here, how light the front wheel gets, on power especially. find a rhythm. We have just past the 12-minute mark. 7.5 seconds now, 7.4 for Chase Fincher. Travis Rowe is not making any ground. John Daniels able to get around Jason Phillips. See if John can attack Michael Odell. Michael Odell waiting for a mistake. Not sure if he's going to get one from Travis Rowe, as Travis Rowe seems to have found another gear the second half of this season.
Yeah, really has brought a lot of pace lately. It's been great to see.
Travis Rowe and John Daniels are fighting for position in the standings, 4th and 5th. It's Justin Thaler in the yellow wheels Porsche. Currently in P7, looking up at Nathan Westland and holding off Jason Wahlberg for now. So the battle for the middle of the pros division. As you can see, it's real easy to run off wide and get some off tracks. We'll see if that plays a factor towards the end of the race, if anybody has drive-throughs. Like you mentioned beforehand.
Especially right there coming down into this run, that runoff seems like you should be able to really take full advantage of it, but it doesn't always work that way. You can argue whether or not iRacing is a little aggressive on some of these, but that's what they are, and you have to drive to them.
Justin Thaler's got some practice this week, and now he's showing off as Nathan Westland kicks up a little dirt for Justin as the blimp camera shows us the trip through the woods.
Would they call it a Zephyr there? I'm not sure.
They might. Sure. I'm in. Robert Snar now has caught up to Dan Gish. The battle for 14th. Dan Gish has it. Robert Snar wants it.
Yeah, the longer this season goes on, the more concerned I am about how good the battles are, even back into the 20th positions.
Robert Snar in the 99 goes deep. And he has it. That is turn 16 as they're coming up through turn 17. I think they call it Deer Leap. Watch out for the deer jumping out of the woods. And across the start-finish line to start another lap. Turn 1, right here is pit exit. So I'll have to watch for pit entry and pit exit. Not too tricky, although turn 1 does stay as a guardrail on the pit exit. So you blend in after turn 1.
Yeah, you can see right there, Robert kept a nice tight line, not even taking the temptation of that off track.
Yeah. And good on Dan Gish for recognizing and that he was there. Justin Glickner. I'm sorry, this is Steve Hansel and Dustin Reinstedel. Steve Hansel in the Porsche, Dustin Reinstedel in the FedEx AMG. There's Steve Hansel, your points or your website creator for our point standing schedule links for all 3 series. New for 2024 for this season. And I got to admit, super job on the website.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm really pleased with the way that he was able to make the number and class elements look exactly like the numbers that you would see on a endurance sports car in the standings. I think he was pretty pleased with himself about that too. But really neat, works very well. Updated manually and personally by him after the race. So really nice feature, really nice touch. It looks great.
I agree. Even on the schedule, the race results, he's got the track backgrounds on the header page. We noticed that, Steve. Thanks for all your hard work and making that possible for us. Even driver profiles on the point standings, you can click the name and it will show you all the results for each race and where you started, where you finished, number of off tracks, etc. Really cool. Look for more of that in the future. Currently 12th, up 6 spots from his qualifying. There's been a little bit of action up front. John Daniels is no longer in front of Jason Phillips. Looks like he must have gone off track. Oh, here it is, right on cue. Thanks, Adam. Oh, 2 wheels off, driver's right on the entry. That's that turn 4 island bend, I believe.
Yeah, it's really easy to ask the tires to do too much there. You're going downhill, you're trying to get on power, you're braking on the front. If you dip the tires into the grass, that's just one more factor. Too much to handle there. But ultimately, not the worst case scenario. He's able to collect it back in,
Yeah.
no damage to the car. And it looks like he had another excursion there shortly after.
This is 7, 8, and 9. Oh, missed it. Maybe dirt on his tires still, or maybe just seeing the red mist as he loses a lot of ground. But good on John. I saw him get out of line, off the racing line, to allow the car behind who is carrying more speed through. So thanks, John, for that track awareness. We
Yeah,
appreciate
more emotional damage than mechanical.
Yeah.
So that's something you'll take here. 40 minutes left to go in the race. Plenty of time to try to make back up and take advantage of anybody else's mistakes. That did drop him back to 8th, but not entirely out of finding a result.
Lots of racing left, as you mentioned. Ooh, Chris McDonald here looking racy on Aaron Mitchell in the purple BMW. It is the M4. It looked kind of like an M3 there for a second, but Chris McDonald trying to make up some ground after that lap 1 mishap. And Chris, we know Chris is fast. We saw him at Road Atlanta. Some clean, consistent laps. Let's see if he can get around the 17 of Aaron Mitchell. It's good to see Aaron Mitchell's out here again.
Yeah, a little wiggle on the rear end there, putting the power down in that new BMW. That thing's dancing around.
Okay, so we know Chase Fincher might be an outlier. Is there one car that might have an advantage here? Adam, would you have a favorite? If you could pick any GT4 car that would be have an advantage on this track, what do you think?
I was trying to think about that. I mean, we've seen the way that, the BMW there itself was getting chucked around, going over the curbs and going through theirs. There are a lot of places where, you have the chicanes, which can really unsettle the car, and you need to get a lot of rotation, so that's some place where you might think, well, maybe the Porsche is going to handle those turns better, but they're so slow that it might be that cars that tend to move the rear end a little more, like the AMGs, the BMW, might have an advantage at getting around those just by the nature of how they're working out. So it's hard to say how the McLaren's doing, because Chase Fincher has been so fast, and we don't have a nice bellwether like Brian Coxon to see how another fast McLaren's looking right there.
Oh no. Chris McDonald being overtaken by Justin Shoup. Chris was in the silver Porsche, was trying to get around Aaron Mitchell, lost a little momentum, and Justin Shoup was there to take advantage. Let's see, maybe Justin Shoup can find a way around Aaron Mitchell and Chris can follow. But Chris, again, after that lap 1 incident, Chris might be just erring on the side of caution and not wanting to make anybody mad in Chris's first season. But again, over half of the race left. Pit window is open, so if you pit here, fill up, you can make it on fuel.
Well, it looks like he has a meatball here from race control, so he's being shown the black and orange, so he will be coming in to get some repairs on his car if he hasn't already grabbed those. I don't know that. Looks like
Looks
he may
pretty
have
good.
already hit. Looks like he may have already hit the pit. Yep, pit lap 11. So he's already taken those repairs, but he's had some other damage since the initial incident with Chris McDonald. Oh no!
Whoa. Kaluguru goes around off the nose of Nicholas Aslan right in front of Steve Hansel. We will find out what happened there. Kaluguru and Nicholas Aslan. That was for the lead. There he goes, Kaluguru in front in the BMW. Goes around again, turn 4. Lift and coast, and he started to spin, starting to get loose. There's Nicholas Aslan into turn 5, the hairpin. Aslan goes in deep and decides to back out of it. Not quite up to his door. Aslan's trying to stop and give him time. Not sure if we're going to get a good shot of the contact there. Sends him around.
Yeah, it looks like the code net code gave him that one there, that little spin on the quarter panel. Maybe a little ambitious. I don't think Nick was expecting him to go in there based on how he was setting that up.
Yeah, we know Nick. It was not intentional for sure, just a misjudgment. They tried to back out of it. And of course, the internet across the world.
I've personally wrecked Nick worse than that, so.
Nick is fast here. Maybe he can recover. Still a lot of racing as he looks like he has caught back up to Nicholas Aslan. Maybe Aslan doing a little lift there for him.
Yeah, he's going to let him go back through.
What a guy. Total respect for Nicholas Aslan. Giving the position back. This is for the lead of the AM division. So now Nicholas has made it right. Let's go racing again. What an awesome league. This is the battle for the lead of the AM division.
Yeah, you can see there these cars need the full width of that chicane to get that rotation.
And the curbing. All right. 11.8 seconds to lead for Chase Fincher. We're watching the lead of the AM division, and it's a cracking race. Michael Odell looking very aggressive now on Travis Rowe as they go through that turn 4 into the hairpin. Can Michael Odell put the power down in the BMW M3? Travis Rowe gets a good run.
There you go. Get the wipers on. That'll give you a little bit of pace.
That's right. It couldn't hurt, I guess. Oh, you can really see how that M4.
Yeah.
Travis Rowe is wringing the neck out of that car.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of dirt here on the runoff of these curbs. People tend to miss them, and the developers have made sure we don't lose that experience of throwing up a little dust.
Love it.
But that little gap there will kick the car.
Michael Odell taking notes. Maybe a little pit strategy change to pass them in the pits as we go through turn 16 and now headed up towards the end of the lap as they stay out for one more.
It's like the 28 of Andrew Miller has a meatball, so the track has claimed more than a few components from these cars.
Nick Aslan still in attack mode. He's cooled his tires down and now he's got his sights set. on the Red Bull BMW of Nick Kaluguru going through turn 1. AMG Mercedes that we're riding with. Dustin Reinstedel comes in. Pablo Araya as well. Oh, Dustin misses his pit box. Oh, that'd be really hard. How close is he?
That's an unfortunate pit stall.
Oh, man. Couldn't have got it any worse.
I thought he was going to back out to the concession stand.
For not qualifying.
Wow.
Really? Oh,
wow.
That's unfortunate.
That's realism that's realism. Sorry. You don't get in other games, folks.
That's right. 31 cars tonight and 31 stalls on the grid, apparently. Robert Snar in the blue AMG behind these guys is a pro. Next season it's going to be a little easier for the pros to get through the amateur field, as we're going mixed class next season.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that shakes out. Hopefully people bring some good pace there. Excited to see how the racing develops.
Nick Kalguru is second in the AM division points right now. His best finish was Sebring of 10th, and that's overall. I believe that was second in class. Robert Snar has got around Nick Aslin. What happened to Nick Aslin?
Nick went in for a pit there, so he went in to take his pit stop. So he's taking his pit stop there. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Yes, we will. We'll see if Nicholas Aslin can do the undercut on.
Apparently his father is following him.
And John strategy. Comes right with him. Yep. Battle for second rages on. Travis Rowe using all of the circuit and then some. John Daniels getting around Kevin Bridges. Make his way back through the field, currently 14th. Kevin Bridges third in class. And look at that, right behind him is Ant Castor and Rexy fourth in class. Good run for Anthony Castor tonight.
The top 12 cars still yet to pit.
Justin Shoup on Aaron Mitchell. Still working. Rick Bundren now behind him. The battle for the top 5 in the AM division. Here is Kevin Bridges. This is for third in class. Ant Castor has the inside line. Hard on the brakes. Up and over some crest. And around for another lap. Ant Castor driving right in the middle of the track, forcing Kevin Bridges to stay behind through turn 1. Can Kevin get that McLaren momentum gathered up and make an attack to get that position back? But move Ant Castor up to a podium position. Still has to pit.
Ant clearly breaking from the rest of the Midwest Motorsports admin and having such a vibrant, loud car. Missed the memo on having a white car with a primary color attached to it.
Right. You can see it from a mile away. You know, Rexy, when it's coming. All right, Kalguru needs to keep cranking out some fast laps. I might let Snar go instead of defending hard. Just keep your lap times going. There you go, Nick. Let him go. Oh. Robert Snarr doing a good job of being patient. Oh, coming into the pits. He's going to try to undercut and get around Calguru, past Calguru in the pits.
Looks like Jason Phillips is a taker as well.
About that time.
Dan Gish coming. Meanwhile, Chase Fincher keeps clicking laps off.
12 seconds the gap.
Chase has never been afraid to run out of fuel.
Right. I think he did Mount Panorama, didn't he? Coasted in the pit lane, I believe.
I actually don't recall.
I know he went through. I could be wrong. All good. Chase will tell us. 11 seconds ahead of this battle for second. And who's going to pit first? They have 6 more minutes. Michael Odell goes on the inside. He's side by side with him.
It's going to be Chase Fincher.
16.
Chase Fincher dives into the pits.
And these two stay out. So, surprised one of them didn't come in. As your leader, Chase Fincher, is in the pits. He's got 12 seconds. He can take tires and probably take a bathroom break if he needs to. Still come out ahead of these guys. Travis Rowe still hanging in there right on Michael Odell's bumper for now. Let's see where this M4 is faster as they go through the hairpin of turn 5. Using the banking. Travis Rowe hanging on to it as he puts the power down, accelerating. Not much difference there. Travis Rowe, you can see he's on the bumper in the middle of these super slow corners.
Yeah, you can see the difference in line here that they're taking. Travis backing up a little more so we can get a better run out of some of those. Testing the limits of the off track.
Yeah. Sure you keep an account of how many off tracks you've got. Coming to the start finish line. They both come into pit at the same time. All right. You take 2, do you take 4? You take none.
Man. I'm not sure if they're seeing enough degradation on the tires. I mean, you do have a lot of right hand turns that will be just putting wear on your front left. So I'm not sure if people might take fronts here or if they'll try to opt to keep the time and just take fuel.
Chase Fincher with the 28-second stop. Travis Rowe, 24. Michael Odell, 25. Side by side as the pit exits. They hit the pit limiter and Travis Rowe's in front. Michael Odell's going to have to do it all over again. Not the first time these two have exited pit lane. Remember Road America? They came out side by side as well as the tire clag kicks up off of Travis Rowe.
Yeah, it looks like Nathan Westland did take tires.
Oh, it looks like Nick Kaluguru did come out ahead of Nicholas Aslan, but only by his hair, so they're going to be fighting it out. Looks like Robert Snarr did get by Kaluguru for that position. But Nicholas Kaluguru has to hold Nicholas Aslan off. So, Adam, you got Nicholas or Nicholas for this battle for the lead?
I'm going to go with Nick.
You're going to go with Nicholas? I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they both appear to be running pretty well here. Looks like, yeah, they're within a couple thousandths of each other as far as best lap. So take your pick.
Awesome racing in the Midwest Motorsports style.
We will see Nick Calagaru with 2 laps fresher. I don't know if he took tires or not,
True.
but he pitted later, so we'll see how that bears out.
Dan Gish and Rick Bundren. This is 4th position. Rick Bundren in the Aston Martin in front.
Maybe the best sounding
Yeah.
GT4 car between either of these two cars. Take your pick. They sound great. Excited for the new Aston Martin Valkyrie to scream on the IMSA paddock.
It looks incredible. It sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's great news if you're somebody who likes high revving cars with a lot of cylinders.
Nick Aslin looking racy, but here's Nathan Westland side by side with John Daniels. Nathan Westland holds back just a little bit as John Daniels moves back up to P7. You got to give John Daniels credit. He lives by the sword, dies by the sword. He was super fast, taking lots of chances. It did not pay off at turn 4 earlier as he's coming back to the field and using that aggression to move back up, currently P8.
Yeah, the Aston is known to like to dance at the rear here, the GT4 Aston Martin. So it's
Westland
ready.
gets a good run.
Oh,
So I'm guessing you might choose the Aston just so you can hear it.
I mean, both of these cars sound really nice.
Into turn 4, 2 wide, side by side. John Daniels not going to give it up. Can Nathan get him on the exit using the banking, the elevation? John Daniels holds the position, but Nathan Westland with a good exit out of the chicanes.
Yeah, it's just a little bit harder to get that Aston Martin with that length rotated there.
Thank you to everybody tuning in on Twitch. We appreciate you all. Go ahead and give us a follow while you're here if you haven't already. As the battle for second continues, coming up on the lap car of John Aslin in the Napa Porsche, who pulls over graciously on the front straight. Thank you, John.
Yeah, everyone seems to have picked their dancing partners for this race.
What a dance these guys are having. Rick Bundren leading. Dan Gish around. As Dan Gish comes side by side on the exit of the hairpin in turn 5 as they go around. Great move here from Dan Gish. Up and over.
Yeah,
Hilltop.
Dan's going to have the bit in his mouth after serving a black flag for speeding in the pits, so he's trying to make up for that. So he'll be on the charge here for the last 15 or so minutes, 20 minutes.
Dan Gish is overdue for a good run. Multiple times he's been in the running for the top 3 of the AM division, has not been able to complete it for multiple different reasons. It's Jason Wahlberg in P4. He has caught up. Jason Phillips in 5th, but we have a 3-way battle for 2nd now. Michael Odell into turn 1. Inside Travis Rowe. Is that turn 1? No, that's turn 16.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
Same place.
Travis electing to concede there. That's I was thinking maybe Michael's run would be compromised there without being able to take the full runoff, but like Travis was unwilling to find out what that fence tasted like.
Yes. Here it is in a replay. The final corner on the inside leaves room on the outside for Travis Rowe. And look at Jason Wahlberg stalking. And the back front end gets light, and Michael Odell cuts off the nose for Travis Rowe. Puts him in his place. Now let's see if Travis Rowe can get that position back. Filling up the mirrors now.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that won't be the last time that we see this lineup change order.
I hope not, for our sake and for our viewers' sake. I'm sure these guys are smiling ear to ear, having a great race. All of this 10 seconds behind your leader, Chase Fincher. But 3-way battle for 2nd.
That might have been the, looks like the incident limit for Nick Aslin.
Oh,
unfortunately,
no.
he's gonna take a drive through here, so that's gonna break up this battle that's been going on for a while.
For the lead is Am.
Yeah.
Oh no. And he gets crossed up. Nicholas Calguru can breathe.
That's unfortunate. But we mentioned coming in, we knew that would be a factor here in this race.
One of our pre-race keys to the race, brought to you by Adam Sondag.
Yeah, drive to succeed. Drive to win. We'll work on it. We'll workshop that.
I like it. Incredible premonition there, but you're right. Nicholas Aslin, I'm sure, beating himself up, especially after the contact earlier.
Oh, what happened to Jason Wahlberg?
Oh, from 3rd, from 4th place now. A toe back to the pits. Here we go. This is out of turn 9, I believe, up and over Hilltop. Justin Shoup on the inside. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shoup must not have seen him there. And Wahlberg takes the right choice. You got the tire wall or 3rd place, and he chooses the tire wall. Shoup just must not have known he was there, not paying attention to his relative.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that hurts. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Mad respect for Jason Wahlberg there to go head first into the tire wall instead of taking out what has been an incredible race. Jason, you were there, buddy.
As race control tells us the 87 has a meatball, we're well aware of that.
Yeah, didn't take a genius to figure that one out.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay. Thank goodness for the Hans device. I hope Jason didn't hit his head on the screen on his monitor, as that had to be graphic at home. I'm sure his neighbors are hearing him scream at the top of his lungs. Oh, Justin Shoup, just unfortunate miscalculation.
Yeah, it's tough because you're in his position. You're letting 2 cars go by, and you have to get through that same stretch of road as well. So it's not easy to figure out how to thread through, especially when this is at least same make series top to bottom. So, it's not something where one of these cars has 200 more horsepower and more aerodynamic effect. So, everybody has to make the passes with the same machinery. So it can be tough. And especially that's not an easy chicane to set up in these cars. So that's a tough one. We'll probably debrief on that in post-race chat. It's always nice to read the friendly back and forth of, follow up on incidents. What'd you see there? What happened? Lots of, luckily, people here keep their replays. So a lot of people in the league will share out the replay from the session so people can go back and see what happened, what did go wrong. Watching the tape. See John Aslan checking out some of the sites.
Going wide to let these guys go. The battle continues. John Daniels, Nathan Westland in the gold AMG Mercedes. John Daniels is not going to give up. In the hairpin again, can he keep it on the outside? No, Nathan has to give up the ghost for now. Right on the bumper once again. The battle for sixth continues. Through turn 10. Nope, 6. 7, 9. This is where Jason Wahlberg took himself out. And we're through. Coming up on the 10-minute mark, 10 minutes to go. All clear for Chase Fincher, 11 seconds up the road. Travis Rowe lost some spots. I believe it may have had something to do with Jason Wahlberg, but Jason Phillips now up to third. Nathan Westland still looking. Can't find it yet.
Yeah, almost all the pit stops seem to be around 26, 27, plus or minus a couple seconds. So it may be that both of these guys did take tires, but in that event, it would be 6 laps fresher on Nathan Westland's car. So we'll see if he has more grip there as we get closer to the end of this race.
Wahlberg got a fast repair, I guess, or maybe used some repairs. A minute 41, so that's not a fast repair. Got it back together enough, at least, to get back on the road and still in the top 15.
They put a new front end on there for him.
Nice. Buy that pit crew some beer.
Can't see the speed tape, but it's there.
All right. Look at Justin Thaler up to P4. John Daniels in 6th, but here's Justin Thaler. He got around Justin Shoup safely. This is one of Justin Thaler's best runs if he can keep this up with 8 minutes to go.
He's got some sort of bizarre Jeep language I can't understand on his car. I'm not sure what a Jeep thing is. I think it's a medical condition, so we hope he is able to deal with that.
Nothing, a good physician and some medication can't help overcome.
We've yet to see the efficacy.
Yeah, the results are not in yet.
Yeah, it appears that Jeepism is terminal, so. But he's having a good run today.
That's right.
I did think that with the tightness of these chicanes, the Porsche might be a nice vehicle for getting through as far as the GT4 chassis go. You can see this car really looks a lot smoother through there than we've seen the BMWs, real choppy. But there is so many long runs here in this track that, I mean, you see that, you know, Chase Fincher in the McLaren that really likes to stretch out its gears, stretch its legs. Ron Cabilti's there behind him as well. It's a nice pacey car here for this type of straight where it's a lot of running and letting that thing open up and get into high RPM.
12, almost 13 seconds. Here's a replay. Pablo Araya. Turn 4 again. Headed into turn 5. The hairpin. A lot of banking here. Oh, just gets it crossed up. Brake bias, not enough trail brake, too much steering input. Maybe all of the above. Steve Hansel does a good job missing, or maybe that's Glickner.
Yeah, as you're coming in there, you're loading up the fronts and pulling the weight off the rear. So, you know, those rear tires are losing the weight and grip. And then as you start to rotate and try to put power down, they're just going to break loose. There's only so much they can do. That's one of the hard things, you know, with especially when it comes to racing in the simulator, you know, the seat of the pants and feel of some of that off camber stuff. I mean, you really have to be cognitively aware of where you're placing your virtual car and what should be happening to it in terms of physics, while you're also trying not to run somebody over. So, you know, it seems like it should be pretty easy. And I think that's most people I've put in my simulator and said, here, drive. They're like, oh, I think I can go faster than you. And then they wreck 3 times in a row. You know, it's, it's a different thing. You have to try to put together different senses and get different information. That's why people turn up the volume on the tires and turn the engine volume down so you can hear when those tires are starting to chirp and squeal and scream that they want to brake.
If the tires are talking to you, you should listen.
Would not consider myself a tire whisperer, but if they have something to say, I'll hear it. Through driving with headphones and turning the tires all the way up, I'm at a point where, while I'm not a talented driver, if I start hearing the rear wheels break loose, I instinctively will, you know, relieve the throttle, come back 5-10%, see if that changes it. You know, it's you start reacting to that because you're not going to get that feel, maybe not through the wheel.
Such a fun challenge to try to get the most performance out of your car and out of your driving, and constantly making those adjustments and learning as you go. John Daniels did a good job getting through some traffic earlier. Now he's got Justin Shoup to try to get through. Jesse Coffey behind these guys. So now we have a 3-way battle for 6th position. Aaron Mitchell in 17 let this pack go earlier, so good driving for Aaron Mitchell. We appreciate it. And now these 3 get around Justin in the 73. Thanks, Justin. So can Nathan do it in the gold AMG? Oh, Jesse Coffey drives through Nathan in the back. That is the final corner, turn 16. Can Nathan get it straightened out without too many more off tracks? Not losing too many more positions. Jesse Coffey in the 75. He gets on the power a little bit before, and that's all it takes. A little nudge. And Nathan, just a bump.
Yeah, I think Jesse really wanted to get a good run out of there. So I think he broke late, but I mean, he more or less was in control of the car. And I think that he wanted to keep that run going and thought it would go. He might be conceding that position there. Yeah, no intent there. That's somebody who's excited to try to make a move in the last 5 minutes of a race.
Yeah. Good on you, Jesse. We appreciate it. Unfortunate for Nathan Westland, but he does not lose a position. Unfortunately, John Daniels is now out of touch with 2 minutes to go, but good tight racing there and courtesy, respectful driving. Jesse Coffey, a little embarrassed there, but made it right. Got to respect that. Once again, Midwest Motorsport League Racing, you won't see that type of respect in officials.
Yeah, and the officials, you'll take the place all day long. Your safety rating's going down. You may as well make your I rating go up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's this. I mean, that's the beauty of the league is people have respect for each other. Again, in some other series and other leagues, you see a lot of contention about, you drove into me or you did this or you did that. I mean, it's pretty rare that somebody's actually intentionally wrecking someone as it is, but it being able to talk through it and say like, hey, I thought you were clear of me here, or I didn't know you were doing this or that or the other, and talking through it, that's learning. That's how people figure out how to handle these situations going forward. I mean, we're not professional drivers. This is this is something
Yep.
people are doing at home for fun. So the beauty of the simulator, though, is you can absolutely destroy your McLaren. If you're Chase Fincher and you want to know what the limits are of this vehicle on this track, you can drive it right into the wall and you know exactly the limit that you can reach. So it's a great way to find speed that you may not find in a real world car.
As we have shown tonight, push a button, get a tow back to the pits, and come back out.
I believe he should cross the line here before.
Gonna get one
Oh,
more. Yep.
they are waving white. Yep.
White flag for Chase Fincher. 1 to go. That means Dan Gish is going to get one more attempt. Oh, Kabiltis must be out of fuel. Or, once again, over the incident points. And
Yeah, I'm not.
no, stop and go for fuel. I'm assuming it's fuel. He did stop.
Yeah, that didn't look long enough to be a stop and hold. Looks like a message is coming through from race control, so we'll see if.
Yep. Incident points. Justin Glickner on your AM division leader. Nicholas Kaluguru. 0 to go. That's right, Nick. Just let him go. You got a couple spots. You're coming up to the white flag. One more time around for what could be a first-time winner. Do not take the hats to victory lane yet, but Justin Glickner can come home in 9th if he brings it back in. Nicholas Kaluguru can follow him home. Don't spin it, Nick.
Yeah, I asked the drivers before the race what they were concerned about, if it was track limits, deleting a control arm on the chicanes and the tire walls, going crazy sideways on the elevation change, or just getting off of Druids. Nick told me that he could count on two hands the amount of front right control arms that he broke in practice. So again,
Awesome.
you got to find the limit of, where you can get through the turn, how much room you do have. That's how you learn what not to do.
Checker flag for Chase Fincher. He did it. No surprise there. 14.2 seconds. Michael Odell is going to bring it home. P2 as he crosses the line. Comes back. Jason Phillips. P3. Justin Thaler just off of the podium. P4 with a great run. His best finish of the season. For Justin Thaler, Travis Rowe after a great race in P5. John Daniels going to bring it home at P6. Nathan Westland try to give it back to Jesse Coffey. Total respect there, but he didn't do it. Nathan got him. Jesse Coffey right there with him.
Wow.
1.4 seconds back, but total respect being shown. Smiles all around. A couple of guys might be kicking themselves, but
AM win for Nicholas Kaluguru.
First win for him. Great job. I'll let you run to the field, Adam, if you want, while I pull some guys
Yeah,
up for our interviews.
great move from Nathan Westland there. It's like when your grandpa gives you $12 and you put it back in his pocket, but he slips it in yours before you leave. Great, great finish. Great end there. Pretty funny. All right. Wow. So we saw a lot of action here. I mean, wow. The track is narrow. People were off track into the tire barriers. Chase Fincher never in question. The only time he wasn't in the lead was after he pitted before the two cars of Michael Odell and Travis Rowe, who were behind him almost all day long. They were right there all day long, but he was still 7 seconds up the road. Just an incredible race. He checked out all the way. Michael Odell in second. Jason Phillips running smooth, running strong, wasn't in a lot of action, made his way all the way up to third, keeping it smooth. Justin Thaler, best finish of the season for Justin Thaler, coming in fourth. Travis Rowe wasn't able to hit that second position after battling with Michael Odell for so long in fifth. John Daniels in sixth. Nathan Westland seventh. Jesse Coffey eighth. Justin Gleckner ninth. Nicholas Kaguru winning the Amblas in 10th position overall. Steve Hansel 11th. Pablo Araya in 12th, second in the AM division. Robert Snar 13th. Jason Wahlberg 14th after blowing the front end of his car off after getting clipped making a pass into the chicane. Dustin Reinstadel 15th. Nicholas Aslan 16th. Chris McDonald 17th. Dan Gish 18th. Kevin Bridges 19th, Rick Blunger 20th, Kyle Ryan 21st. Ron Kabiltes having some difficulties today, some off track, some incidents. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the run that we're used to seeing from him. Finishing 22nd. Aaron Mitchell 23rd, John Aslan 24th, Justin Shoup 25th, Andrew Miller, CJ Barsack, and I believe. Well, I don't know that Ant Caster. I don't know why Ant Caster's down there.
Yes, he is 28th. 3 pit stops. He must have had a bad final.
Yeah, something must have happened. He must have ran out of oil, fossil fuel for his dinosaur. I don't know what happened there.
Ran out of talent, maybe. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I don't know. You can ask him on the podcast.
That's right. Just a guess. No, he's got plenty of talent to spare. But somebody that used all the talent and then somebody had tonight was Nicholas Kaluguru. Congrats on a great race, Nicholas.
Thanks, man. You got me?
I do. I hear a little bit of an echo, but I'll try to turn it down a little bit on my end, see if I can help. Talk us through your race, man. Congrats.
Man, I really worked for this one. Put in a bunch of laps, really tried to get a good strategy laid out and have some ideas in case things went wrong. Found myself leading it early. I don't even know what to say. I'm just so excited to finally get a real win, not just technical. It's huge in the battle for the points, and it ain't over.
That's right. That's right. So we saw that you were having a great race with Nicholas Aslan, and then the two of you made some contact, and you kind of went through a half spin, collected it back, and looks like he waited for you there. And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm sure you were up on the wheel at that point. How did you gather yourself up and calm yourself back down?
Honestly, kind of didn't even phase us, or at least me. I just was so worried about getting back out and trying to, sack or fix what just happened. And I don't know. I really kind of just went right back into the flow state and took it on the chin.
So one more question for you, Adam. You got anything for Nicholas?
No, great run. Way to gather it back in. This is a track that has highs and lows, and those aren't just the roller coasters of the valleys here. It's easy to get into trouble, but once you get back locked in, it looked like you were putting in some laps. Congrats on the finish and in a top 10 as well.
Thank you. It is definitely one of the most fun tracks when you're in the zone. Brutal when you're not. The first couple laps. That was
Yeah,
gonna be a rough
it would
one,
be
but
nice if being in the zone was a little more often for most of us.
yeah, I can relate to that one.
Well, we're really happy you made it, man. You made it to the booth to talk to me after a race. I know that was one of your goals for the season, and really happy that tonight was the night before the end of the season. Congrats on a great race, Nicholas. Everybody's happy for you.
Thank you so much, James.
That's Nicholas Kaluguru, 10th place overall, and your AM division leader is going to make up some points on Ronald Cabiltas now, who had a bad race tonight. Anything can happen in the points for the AM division, but the points for the pro division just stretched out a little bit further as Chase Fincher brings home the win. Dominating performance from the pole, Chase. Was it lonely up there from the front?
Caught traffic pretty quick, so I wasn't by myself. I mean, the plan was just the goal was to get a 0x because I need as much bonus points as I can get. So the goal was to get an early enough lead to where I could kind of pace what the relative was, pace their pace, and not really have to battle anyone. So it was a great race. I wasn't expecting. I mean, this is a tough track for off tracks. So getting a 0x, it was a much needed confidence boost after the last two races. Those were pretty rough for me. So to have a good race this week was very good for the confidence. And I want to go ahead and say congrats to Nick that he did a fantastic job. He was joking on the Discord about how many drive-throughs he was going to have, and he only had 10x. So, and he won the race for AM division. So, congrats to him.
We saw that. We're glad that he had at least one more right front upper A arm or A arm set to go through. Adam, what you got for our race leader, man?
Man, I don't even know what to say. Were the tunes good on the radio, or I don't know what kind of radio they've got going in the UK over there, but
no, McLaren doesn't come equipped. That's an option.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That's another $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a great run. 0x is just incredible on this track. If I could lap for 10 minutes on this track and have a 0x, it would be a miracle. I know it. The runoffs on here are pretty tight, and especially as you're trying to make pace, you start encroaching in on some of those turns. So pretty incredible. Really nice to stay out of trouble. Did you take tires on your stop?
I took fronts, and I didn't really need to take them. The car was pretty settled. I had some time and some space between second, so I think Travis was still in second at that point.
Yep.
So I was like, I've got the time. I was very cautious entering pit, very cautious exiting pit, and my outlap was pretty slow. I didn't want to loop the car. Having hot rears and cold fronts on that mid-engine cars, it's kind of unpredictable.
Right.
So just getting the fronts up to temp, and once they were up to temp, it was just trying to maintain the pace of second place.
Yeah, we thought maybe some people were opting to take the fronts, just given the amount of right-hand turns and the speed that those run at. So yeah, good to know. Thanks for that info, and smart to just ease your way into it and not make any of those mistakes come back. We did have a number of, I believe, black flags for speeding in the pits. Not an easy pit to get into. People are used to longer pits than that. So it was difficult, and it looked like poor Dustin Reinsteidel's pit box was somehow behind the the pit entrance. So
he had to throw it in reverse to back up to get in his pit box.
Yeah, so lots of adventures there. So wise to just take it easy. So great run. Congrats.
Hi. Thank you.
Extending
Appreciate
the lead.
It. Yeah, I have no idea what it's going to be. My whole goal was this was a confidence building race again for me, just to get back in the groove and do what I know I can do. Sebring was a bit of a mishap on my part, thinking I thought we could fill up to 100% fuel. I didn't realize we could only fill up to 60. So the first pit stop, I thought I would just take wets, and then when the track got optimum, I would pit, fill to 100%. That ended up not being the case, and the whole rest of the race was terrible. And then Bathurst, I I pitted at the most inopportune time. That was when the track was the worst. But if you look at the lap times of Odell, who I was around, the track immediately improved. So getting on the wet tire when I did was the worst decision. But I mean, you can't ever tell. You don't know what weather's going to do. So having having only one confirmed wet race the rest of the time is nice, because I have a track record this year of not doing so well in the wet. But
yeah, Bathurst was a weird in between of should you, shouldn't you take the wets. We were debating it the entire race, having all of the data in front of us, if it was faster or slower, and then we even had wet and dry tires battling for each other without noticeable differences in pace. So
yeah, like Odell, just that BMW seemed to just hook over the mountain on the dry tire. The McLaren, it typically doesn't have a nose anyways, but in the mixed conditions, the car just doesn't want to turn, and then when you brake, the rear end just wants to loop out on you. So it was a wild ride.
Yeah, the dynamics and chassis are definitely interesting across this field of cars in the GT4.
My guess is you're going to be looking for a dry race at Spa next week.
Well, we have looking at the forecast, it's going to rain at the beginning of the race, stop for a little bit, pick back up. So who knows?
Here we go again.
Yeah. I'll test whatever the forecast says it's going to do and kind of make a prediction based on that. With my track record, whatever I do, everybody else do the other. So,
well, we'll be watching for sure, Chase. It was a clinic that you put on today. Travis Rowe and Michael Odell had absolutely nothing for you, and you extend your lead on Michael Odell only a little. 2 races left. Next week we're at Spa, and we hope you have a great holiday with your family, Chase, and congrats on a dominating performance tonight. We'll be looking for you next week.
Thank you, guys. Y'all too. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, take care. Travel safe, everybody. We'll see you in the Ardennes.
That's right. For Adam Sondag and all the Midwest Motorsports admins that make this possible, I'm James J., reminding you to stay in your lane. We'll see you next week at Spa.